Hello again, friends. Welcome to my deck. I'm outside trying to maximize the sunshine, and it is December 16th. It's about, 2:30 in the afternoon. And I am frantically knitting. I'm going to do a recap of this weekend's market, but it was incredible. And I almost completely sold out. Like, seriously, maybe I have 10 hats left. It was ridiculous. And I'll go over everything in the video, and maybe I don't even know if I'm going to put it in the first half of this video or not. But the point is, I have one more small market coming up this weekend on Sunday, if it doesn't get rained out. And I have no inventory. I have like 10 baby hats left, and that's about it. So I'm frantically trying to knit, and while I'm doing that, I also keep getting custom orders. So I'm trying to figure out how to balance that. But I would like to knit 20 hats before Sunday, and really it has to be before Saturday, because Saturday we have our big family Christmas party. And so I'm not going to be knitting much on Saturday. So today's Tuesday. I've knit 2 hats so far today. I'm going to try to get a third one done during quiet time. Then maybe a fourth one done this evening. And hopefully the 5th one tonight while watching a movie with my husband. So we'll see. That's ambitious, I know. But that's my goal for today. So yeah, I am busy knitting, so I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the quiet while my kids are having quiet time. They're in their rooms listening to audiobooks. We spent the morning at the park, so yeah, happy knitting, and I will check in with you guys later. Bye. All right, friends, it's about 10:45 p.m. and I'm getting ready to go to bed. But I wanted to update you on my beanie count for today. So my original goal was to knit 5 beanies for the market on Sunday. So this morning I made a yellow beanie. Then at the park I made this beanie. Then, this afternoon I made this beanie, and this one still needs all the ends woven in and the tag put on. But that's 3 beanies knit. Then I got a custom order for a toddler beanie and 2 matching adult beanies. And I'll tell you why I paused my market knitting to knit these custom orders. They wanted Santa hats. At my on Saturday's market, I had a Santa hat, but I only had the newborn size. And so they messaged me asking if I could knit a toddler size and 2 adult Santa hats. So 3 hats total. They'd seen me at the festival, and I only had the newborn size. So then, it's supposed to rain the next 10 days, and so I wasn't even sure if the Sunday market would be happening, because it's no canopies, so you're only allowed to bring your table and like a patio umbrella, and if it rains they can cancel the event, and then you don't get any refunds. So I wasn't even sure if they were going to cancel Sunday's market, and I didn't want to turn down a guaranteed paid order to work on market hats for a market that might not even happen. So I knit the 3 hats for the market, and then I decided I would stop and work on this custom order. Also, I figure they want their Santa hats probably before Christmas. So the sooner I can get those out to them, the higher chance they have them for Christmas. So that being said, I knit a toddler hat. I do need to make a big, huge yarn pom-pom for it. So this is the toddler one. Then I knit an adult one. So it's like that. So let me see if I can put, oops. Let me see if I can put the toddler over the adult. So that's the size difference. And then now I'm working on the second adult one. So that's 5 completed hats today. Well, mostly complete. The knitting is complete. 2 of those hats are complete, like ready to put on the table. They just need price tags. And then the 2 Santa hats need pom-poms and ends woven in. And then the blue hat just needs ends and tags and all that. So I'm pretty pleased with how much knitting I got done today. And yeah, I'm not going to finish this one tonight because I just started on the red and I have a long ways to go still. And I'm exhausted and I want to go to bed. So this is going to be my morning project. And then I'm hoping that I can get paid for it tomorrow and get it mailed out to the guy. I did message him and say I could get it out tomorrow afternoon in the mail. I just can't guarantee it'll be there by Christmas since we're right at a week from Christmas. Today's Tuesday, so tomorrow's Wednesday, and Christmas is the following week on Thursday. So, we'll see what he says. I'm not sure. I told him, okay, rewind a little bit. When he messaged me saying, you know, could I make these hats? I wrote back and I said, sure, but the toddler hat is $50 and the 2 adult hats are $60 and then $10 for shipping. So that's what, $180. And I said, if you want to proceed, you know, let me know and I'll get working on these. So this afternoon I got an email back saying, yes, he wants to order the hats. So that's when I started knitting on them. And so now I need to find out if he wants to pay extra to have them like overnighted, or if he wants to take the chance and just, they might not be there by Christmas, or what he wants to do. The festival that I was at was about an hour away. So it's not like they're local to me and we can just go, you know, meet at a coffee shop and exchange hats. So we'll see what he wants to do. And in the original quote, I did quote him, you know, $10 for shipping. So he's not expecting it to be like a porch pickup. So we'll see what he wants to do. But tomorrow I'm going to finish knitting this and then we can get back to the market knitting. Oh, I also had another custom order email come through. And thankfully this lady does not need this hat by Christmas. But she sent me a picture of a hat she saw in a catalog that the company is no longer in existence. And she wanted to know if I could replicate that hat, you know, as close to it as possible. So I'm looking forward to that challenge. But I did tell her I have a market on Sunday and I'm not going to be able to start hers until the week of Christmas. And she's totally fine with that. It's just a hat for herself, so she doesn't need it, you know, by Christmas or anything. So I've got a few custom orders coming down the pipeline, and yeah, it's exciting. It kind of feels like they're all at once. Like I had this really huge market on Saturday, like really huge. And I know I keep alluding to it, and I'm going to do a market recap. But it was overwhelmingly big. And so I feel like coming off the heels of that, what I need is like time to just recoup and like gather everything, you know, and just kind of breathe. But also we're a week away from Christmas. And I have a market on Sunday, so there's no time to stop and smell the roses. So yeah, so I feel like I'm already stressed with this market on Sunday that may or may not happen. And then I have all these custom orders coming in, and it's just kind of like when it rains, it pours, right? Like a couple weeks ago, I was bored and I was wishing and praying and hoping I would get like one single Etsy order. And now I have all of these custom orders. Oh, and another thing, I don't think I mentioned this. And if I did, I'll try to cut this part out. But I had listed stuff in my Etsy shop, I don't know, a couple months ago, and maybe like 3 months ago. And nothing was really selling. I would sell like a random hat here and a random hat there. I think there's like 4 or 5 sales. There's not much. And that was fine because I've been just market prepping and like going to markets and not really focusing on my Etsy shop. So the listings I put up, every time I would go to a big market, I would put the Etsy shop on vacation mode until after the market. Then I would verify that I still had all of the listings and reactivate, or like take the shop off vacation. Forgot to do that for this really big market that I just had. And I sold out of like everything. And so there was this hat that I had listed in Etsy. You know, it was one of a kind. It was acrylic, like back when I was making acrylic hats. And I hadn't sold it in like 3 months. And of course it sold at the German market on Saturday. And then the very same night it sold on Etsy. So talk about like when it rains, it pours. So this hat has been sitting in my like duffel bag. Like I have these like moving storage bag things where I keep all my product to keep them, sorry, this is so wiggly. To keep them from getting, you know, dust or anything like dirty. It just keeps them clean. And so it's been in this bag. It's trekked along to every single market I've done in the past 3 months, and nobody has bought it until Saturday when 2 people bought the same hat. So thankfully I had the yarn in my stash and I had the same pom-pom that I put on the, you know, the one in the example. And so it sold Saturday night. And so Sunday I re-knit it. And I like pulled up the picture on the Etsy listing and copied it exactly and used the same pom-pom. And then I mailed it off today. But yeah, word of the wise, don't overbook. Don't sell the same hat twice. If it had been one of these hats, like these merino wool hats, I have a lot more of this yarn. And so it wouldn't have been such a big deal. Like I could just knit another one of these. But it was acrylic, and I've donated most of my acrylic. Like I don't even want to knit with it. And so I was very thankful because I was like, shoot, I'm going to either have to refund this Etsy order or I'm going to have to go to the craft store like Michael's and buy more of this acrylic yarn that I don't want to store in my house. So long story short, I was very thankful that I had enough of the same exact colors and the same exact yarn that I had used for that hat. So I knit another one exactly the same as the Etsy listing, mailed it off today, and my Etsy shop is on vacation mode. So, yeah, okay. This is like 12 minutes long, and I'm going to end it here, but those are my 5.5 beanies that I made today, and tomorrow we will be knitting more. So I will see you guys later. Have a good night. Bye.